back here at the Cincinnati Sports Scene Podcast. We'd like to thank everyone for joining, whether you're out here on YouTube watching us live. We thank you there. If you're getting ready to listen to us, we'll have it up and running here on all your podcasting platforms here later this evening. That over there is Charlie Crawley. That person in the middle is Sam Wolferson. I am Dave Wolfer. So we are just excited to have you here for another great show. This is episode 53, titled "Should We Bring Out the Shovels?" And we're just going to go right into it because we've got a lot to talk about this week. But first of all, I just want to bless you, catch up with how you guys, how was your week since we talked on Tuesday? So anything exciting new happening for you guys?
I have as many wins as the Reds, so that's about it.
That's good.
Yeah. I got to see the Louisville Bats win last night. So, when Hunter Green started. So that
we'll talk a little bit about that and that experience there. So.
Right now the Bats might beat the Reds since half the team is Reds.
Well, that is true.
Good and bad ones.
Yep. All right. FC Cincy took a stumble this past week. Lost in the
League's Cup.
League Cup thing that they're doing. Good, bad, indifferent. I think it might be a good thing because now they got 14 days until they actually play again. So Columbus Crew, I think a little rest will do them good, because what I saw was if they would have won this league, won the MLS, and then the Open Cup, they would have played almost 50 games this year. And that's a lot of games to be playing if you're trying to excel at not just one, but 3. So thoughts on that before we move on?
Yeah, they lost in a penalty shootout. So, technically it's not a loss. So they're still undefeated at home.
Well, we'll tell that to the Women's World Cup team.
Well, right, exactly. We don't have to talk about them, but because they didn't lose either, and yet they're home also.
They're home. So,
but yeah, that's just the semantics of soccer. They lost to Nashville. Nashville's a good MLS team. That I don't really care, just because I don't have a vested interest in this League's Cup. It's brand new. It means nothing to me. I'm going to look at it as a positive. They're going to have the 2 weeks off to kind of regroup, get all their new players in, more integrated into the team, especially Bupenza, who I think he's going to have to kind of be our key player, or one of them. But he's going to have to actually replicate what Brenner was able to do last year, if they want to, finish first in the East and go on and win the MLS Cup. So I think these 2 weeks will be crucial for that. And, they weren't going to win the League's Cup anyways, because, Miami's going to win. It's blatant. If you've even looked on social media, we don't have to get into it, but goodness gracious, I've never seen a league carry someone's jock like that before. It's crazy.
And they're coming here for the other tournament. So
yeah, that's why win the League's Cup, and then they won't care. Nessie won't even play in the Lamar Hunt Open Cup. So,
and part of nobody wins all these tournament things. Do you play the U.S. Open Cup, or do you go for it in this League's Nation thing? What do you do? And when you're leading when you lead in your league, that's your number one priority. So, the fact they've made the U.S. Open Cup, semis, right? That's where they're playing Miami in the semis. Yeah. So, that's 32, 16-8. That's 3 spots ahead of where they were at the Nations Cup thing. So you might as well focus on the U.S. Open Cup, since that's where you only got 2 games left there. I think that's strategic. They did play a legitimate lineup. It's not like they ran out their B team, but it doesn't, surprise me that they weren't, maybe didn't play as well as they have been. And they still controlled the game. I mean, it was 2/3 possession. They did more shots. So it's not like they just came out and laid a complete turd. So, give them some time to, rest up and train a lot and then come back and play the crew and get everything going again. So, but they're fine. They're in good shape.
Oh, that's good. So moving on from FC, I know they play the crew on the 20th, and then is it the 26th or the
23rd?
23rd.
23rd, they play Miami.
Yeah. So Messi comes to town the 23rd. Is that what day of the week is that? Is that a Saturday?
Wednesday, Tuesday, something like that.
Probably Wednesday because Kitty's back in
they
school.
They play the crew on a
Tuesday.
Saturday. So
yeah, the 23rd is a Wednesday. I was gonna say we could do an emergency pod down by the stadium, but
well, what they need to do is they need to install turf for that game because Messi's not playing on turf. So that would throw a real wrench in MLS's plans if they just put down turf for that game.
They would move the game then. They would move it.
Where? It's in Cincinnati.
They
can't just.
They would move it to a local high school, something like that. That had turf. Bring it to Finneytown. Bring Messi to Finneytown.
But no, he won't play on turf, so they're not going to Finneytown.
Oh yeah, that's true. So
that's what I'm saying. Just install some turf.
Well,
checkmate, MLS.
All right. Well, speaking of turf, we're going to switch turfs to the football field here. And last week, we did not have an opportunity to discuss training camp per se. We talked a little bit about Burrow's injury. A couple of guys are coming back. I haven't really been following a ton of training camp. I know that, Carmen he took full reps on, I think it was Thursday's practice. And, at right tackle with the number ones looked pretty decent there. But a lot of that he was going up against Miles Murphy. I'm not going to read a whole lot into that right now, but haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to who's doing what. Have you guys heard anything? You want to talk about any players that stand out right now after week 2, or do you want to just move along to the contract situations?
I haven't really seen. I just a couple more injuries happen. Charlie Jones got injured this past week, but the Bengals social media has been posting a lot of Trent Irwin. He's made a couple nice catches, so good for him.
Crocodile Hunter.
Trent Irwin. Yeah, he's a classic Cincinnati athlete.
Yes, he is.
We're gonna put him on a pedestal. Your boy Stewie, man, John Sadak was.
Oh, he was loving him today.
He was loving John. Oh my God!
Great
he wants him in the Hall of Fame because he was 1 for 4 and he had the best game ever of a player.
Hey,
1 for 4 with a single. And he had the best game. He got more excited about him than Ellie's cycle.
Well, he had to get.
God, Stuart Fairchild and John Sadak are totally Cincinnati. Through and through, mediocre, accepting of mediocrity, and being excited about it.
Well, when you have quality at bats, 4 quality at bats, and 6 games, you only have, you've got to get excited about the little things, man, right? The little things in life. Because I don't know if you guys listened to it, but it was like in the 2nd inning or the 3rd inning, he just went, oh boy. It was like, I don't know. It was just like somebody made a play and they scored a run, I think. And it was like, oh boy. He was just like really depressed, and it was kind of refreshing that it wasn't just this homer upbeat sunny side.
Stewie got him going again though.
Yeah, but he did. He was like, yes, he had to talk about something. So but yeah, so let's go back to the Bengals here, and we got
Trent Irwin. That's right. Trent Irwin is Stuart Fairchild. There we go. Have we seen them in the same room at the same time? Has that happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know they've been saying, I mean, again, social media. I mean, I like Dan Hord's Twitter. He posts those like
right, those
five
yeah.
observations from camp. That's probably the most thing that I pay attention to is that, because they're pretty interesting what he puts on there. I've heard several things say Jonah Williams looks like a natural right tackle, like he's always played there in his life. So I mean, what are they going to say? Like, oh God, this dude sucks. I mean, just have a big straw and crossbones every time they say his name or something. What are they going to say? But that's good. I mean, if it legitimately is that's what's happening, then that's good news. So
that is good news.
But we'll see.
All right, a couple of contracts. Trey Hendrickson signed an extension. Joe Mixon restructured his deal, and then that's what we
took a pay. Just call it a pay cut.
But restructuring his deal because he wants to win a Super Bowl here. That's what he said.
Let's hope he's not in jail when the season for game one. So
yes, and then the latest one, Logan Wilson's contract. So
that was a little surprising.
That was surprising. It was in a good way, I believe.
Just kind of out of nowhere, like
right.
Like you would have thought he'd been kind of further down the line.
Yeah, you would, but maybe it's all in the grand scheme of things with Katie Blackburn, Duke Tobin, and their wisdom of how to make players take less.
No, they're good at it. So.
They are good at it. Maybe they'll give them a bologna and cheese sandwich, not just bologna in the training room.
And clean jock straps.
Yeah. Yes.
And just in terms of the contracts, I mean, I have no problem with them. I mean, the Bengals are making a financial commitment to some winning players and guys that have Logan Wilson's been a little unheralded, and I think he's been better, and probably the media gives him credit for, or we probably even give him credit for.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Jermaine Pratt. I mean, they saw they both linebackers. They only really played two linebackers, a lot of the time. So you got these two linebackers at least for the next couple of seasons. So I have no problem with that. Hendrickson thing, they didn't blow the bank for Hendrickson, which was good. So you never typically your 30-year-old pass rushers. I think he's 28 now, maybe. 30-year-old pass rushers that are like the peak guys. So and I'll have him for the next couple of years. 3-year extension maybe with him. So
I don't
have a problem with any of them.
I think it was 2, but I think he's
got this year.
He's got this year, and then
okay.
plus 2.
Yeah,
I think
so that puts him at the age 30, and then I'm sure he'll be gone at that point. So, just because that's the way Bengals operate.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a problem with any of them as long as it doesn't. They need these guys. I was gonna say as long as it doesn't take away from. It's not gonna take away from Burrow. That's not gonna happen. T. Higgins is probably the biggest question mark. I think he's coming back, but just in terms of the money that they're gonna offer him. So.
Yeah, and I saw I don't know who it was, somebody who follows the Bengals regularly, and they were at training camp, and they said that they have the replacements right on the roster right now. So Tyler Boyd's replacements, Charlie Jones.
I saw that too. I can't remember who.
T. Higgins' replacement, I guess, is Andre. Whatever his name is.
They put a question mark by that one.
Yes, they did. But if he's not back,
that's a big question mark right now.
Yeah.
He may not even be on he probably not even be in the active squad this year.
Probably not. Practice squad maybe, but
practice. They'll cut.
I mean, not with Trent Irwin. There's no way. No way playing over him.
Not with the one-handed grab. But depends on how Charlie comes back from that shoulder injury. I mean, I know it's day to day, but we'll see there. But I like the fact that the Bengals are setting up their defensive side right now, and then they're probably going to be focusing on that off. Because they signed him. Joe has his 5th-year extension, right? So, you would like to have it done now, but he can.
You've got 2 more seasons before
you have to get it done, and then you can still tag him, right? I mean,
twice,
right? But I don't think
That wouldn't be
that.
the smart move.
No, it wouldn't be the smart move, but it's an option, right?
Plus, if you wait till next year to do it, it's going to cost you even more. So,
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you want to try to get that done since
because
Herbert's done, and
you look at it, they were listening. Patrick Mahomes is already like 7th or 8th on like the quarterback scale, so he's at a bargain now.
Yeah,
and when he got that contract 2 years ago, everybody was losing their minds. Like, that's insane. But so the sooner you get it done, the sooner that contract is now a bargain. So
yeah. So but we'll keep an eye on that. The thing with T, if they sign T, give him an extension, like a 1 or 2 year extension, which that might be the holdup right now, is he might want more than a 2-year extension.
I'm guessing he's using like the AJ Brown contract as a baseline.
Yeah, probably. And the Bengals. I mean, this is just me speculating, and I know we probably shouldn't speculate, but if you give T a 2-year extension, then Jamar Chase, right? His contract will be up. That'll be year 5 for him. You can throw the bank at him and not T. I don't know if you can throw both monies, at both of those wide receivers. I just don't know if that's feasible with Burrow's contract, unless it's a team-friendly contract like Mahomes is. I mean, Mahomes' contract is a team-friendly contract.
It turned into it.
Yeah,
because the salary cap went up and the quarterback market shifted. If he wants to take a truly team-friendly contract, he's going to have to go the Tom Brady route. And to do that, you got to marry a supermodel where you're not, where your income is not the largest in the family there.
Yep.
So.
Yep. All right. So one question I do have for you guys is, the top 100 NFL players came out, and I don't know if it was, I think it was voted on by the players themselves.
The players, yeah.
It was,
yeah.
So, my question is, having, granted, numbers 10 through 1, they haven't come out yet.
They come out tomorrow.
Right. So
but Burrow, who's going to be on there.
Yeah, Burrow will be on there.
Right, that's it.
That'll be it for the Bengals. And then you have Chase at 39, and then Trey Hendrickson at 75. So my 2 questions is, one, do you think anybody else from the Bengals should have been on that top 100? Or do you think that Chase and Burrow, or even Trey, are too low?
I think Higgins should have been on there. At back end, 80s, 90s, somewhere in there. I think I was actually kind of surprised Hendrickson was that high. Chase is way too low. If you look at some of the wide receivers, that like CeeDee Lamb is ahead of him. I mean, CeeDee Lamb would be our 3rd wide receiver, maybe our 4th. Like legitimate.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb had better. The issue is CeeDee Lamb's numbers were better. They were better than Chase's.
He played in 4 more games,
right? But you look at numbers, and that's what they're based. And he's a Cowboy.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys had a.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Ton.
They should win the Super Bowl based on this.
But here's the thing, though: it's the players, right? It's the players ranking. They know, and I'm thinking is like, why isn't DJ Reader on there? Every guard and tackle are saying, he's the bread and butter of the defense. I think he should have been top.
Well, it's because players don't know how to do this. They don't
they just listen to ESPN, I think. So.
Well, I don't even think they do that. Like, people all the time will say, well, he plays the game. He knows what he's talking about. Have you heard most of these guys speak? Like, no, they do not know what they're talking about. Like, I don't care what you tell me. I don't care that I didn't play football at a high level. I know more than some of these guys that open their mouths and try and talk football. Just because they play professional football doesn't mean anything. And they're voting, and it shows.
And a lot is based on, I think, past performances too. I mean, when you have I mean, I know Josh Jacobs had a decent year last year for the Raiders, but he's not even in football. I mean, he's sitting out, and he's getting voted 12th. 12th.
Well,
12th best player.
I mean, it is a lot. It is a lot based on because that's where CeeDee Lamb comes into play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
His numbers from last year. So
Devontae Adams, right?
If you took,
Devontae Adams did not have better yards than Chase. I mean, because he didn't have quarterbacks. So,
I mean, if you took lined up the receivers and said, and you could, if you went to players or whoever, people that actually knew what was going on, whoever that would be, and said, hey, you can pick a team out of this, your two receivers or whatever. I mean, I think Chase would get way more votes than CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Way more people would pick him than CeeDee Lamb. Much more of a game breaker. But you're working against the Cowboy issue, and you're working against Chase had injuries. I mean, his numbers could have been a lot better, but he was hurt for those 5 or 6 games. So I think he's, hopefully he won't get hurt. Hopefully he'll, be a little more consistent. But I was looking at just like the T. Higgins thing to kind of compare him. So number 100, the 100th ranked player is Devontae Smith.
Right.
So the question is T. Higgins better than Devontae Smith?
Yes.
And so, well, that's your opinion. I mean,
Yeah,
you're gonna. I bet a lot of NFL guys would take Devontae Smith over T. Higgins.
Well, Trevor Lawrence is 96 on that list.
Yeah, I think that's way low, too low for him.
Yeah. I don't even want to count how many Cowboys are on here. Jets are on here now. I mean, Jets, for crying out loud.
They should have 2. Sauce and Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Sauce is on. He's up there.
Quentin Williams should be on there.
Quentin Williams. I forgot about him. Yeah.
Quentin Williams is on there.
That might be the only Jets on there.
Rodgers, C.J. Mosley, the linebacker.
Oh, they love him, Ravens and stuff. So
Aaron Rodgers. So that's 4. Garrett Wilson is 5.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. Yeah. So they had 5. I mean,
well, they should have a better record than the Bengals this year. So.
They should. So, well. But
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. So
nope. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't
really matter. No, but it's just something to talk about.
We've talked about the bank. One of the strengths of the Bengals is that they don't necessarily have superstars. They have a whole collection of average to above average players. They don't have 5 really, really, really good players and then 35 bums, kind of thing, which is what a lot of teams bring to the table.
Right.
And so that's what the Jets will be fighting. They got a lot of bad players that are mixed in with these really good players. So I don't, the Aaron Rodgers hype machines, kind of thing is rolling along. But, if it's not, unfortunately for Sauce, I want the Jets to go 3-16 or whatever. So, but the Bengals' strength is the fact they have, they don't have weaknesses, but they also don't have superstars in most of these positions either. I mean, Jay Reader, I think, is a good defensive lineman, but I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence is ranked 99th. I'd rather have DeMarcus Lawrence than DJ Reader. So, I mean, I think it's just perspective. So on that, doesn't mean he's a bad player. It just means he's just an above average player, and we got a lot of those. I mean, Logan Wilson's not on there, and we just signed him to a pretty good contract. I mean, he probably wouldn't even fit on the top 200 if there was a ranking thing. So,
well, he would have if they would have never flagged him in the Super Bowl, because.
So anyway, yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's for talk, just for fun, talk about. So
right. So it gives us little content here before the season starts. But
if they win the Super Bowl, they'll have more guys next year.
Yep. So speaking of contact and lack of contact, we're going to focus our attention to the Reds. And yes.
Can we go back to the top 100 NFL list?
How many Reds would be on that top 100 MLB baseball list right there?
There will be some. That's a topic for another day, though.
Yes, it
after the season.
After the season. So, all right. So let's review here. The Reds were 1-3 against the Cubs. After we were coming live on Tuesday night as the trade deadline edition. Reds, pretty much stood pat. One reliever, journeyman, Sam Mole, and has actually pitched pretty well for us. And then we go out and give up 20 and 16 runs in consecutive games to the Cubs, to the stinking Cubs, for crying out loud. But they're one of the hottest teams in baseball after the break. And then we come home looking for, redemption. The Nats come into town, which is like, okay, we swept the Nats out in Washington over the 4th of July. We had pretty good series out there against them. A little home cooking. Started off great, got up 3-0. Ashcraft pitched a gem of a game until the 8th inning. And then the wheels fell off, and we lost in extras.
They haven't stopped rolling,
and the wheels are still going down 75 right now. And we scored 3 runs on Friday, 3 runs on Saturday, 3 runs on Sunday, and the Nats went 6-7-6. All right, let's hear it. Takeaways from these 6 games.
The Chicago series was I don't even know how to explain it. I don't know how you give up 20 runs and then 16 runs back-to-back games. I mean, the offense was fine. I think what was it? They scored 9 runs in one game and 6 or 7 in the other.
They scored 9 in the 20 run game.
And then 6 or 7 in the
and they scored 4, I think, in the top of the 9th.
Okay.
When it was 20 to 5 or something like that, and they scored 4 in the top of the 9th.
Yeah, but I mean, we've gotten nothing out of our starting pitching the last 6 games. I mean, outside of Ashcraft, and it's a shame because I mean he pitched really well, and then he one pitch, and as much as I want to get on David Bell for that, I think you have to leave him in the game there the way he was cruising, because I mean he was cruising. The guy only got on base on a little dribbler, and he was running out of the baseline. I'm a little surprised that there wasn't more of a fuss made out of that. I'm not saying I agree with it, but they did show he was running on the infield grass outside of the baseline in the throwing lane.
Yeah, but Ashcraft was throwing it over his head anyhow. I mean, the way he threw the ball,
maybe
he wasn't.
Maybe that played into it, but yeah. So I mean, you can't. I don't think you can take him out because that's the base runner he gives up. So I kind of actually agree with Bell leaving him in there. Where I don't agree with Bell is Diaz coming out and pitching the 9th and then coming out and pitching the 10th again. He has not shown ever once in the 2 years that he can pitch more than 1 inning. And what's he do? He goes out there, he burns him, throws 40 plus pitches. I mean, gives up the lead there, or not the lead, but gives up the tie in extras. And that was just a terrible decision, stupid. I mean, that really irritated me, and it just proved that David Bell cannot handle a pitching staff. He just can't.
This is going to be the more positive, gentler Crawley, according to last week.
Yeah.
Show. He said he's going to be a little more.
I mean, right now they just don't have a very good pitching staff. I mean, they're not good. I mean, this is the bottom line. They're not good. I mean, Graham Ashcraft is the best they got right now. And
you were wanting him demoted six starts ago.
He should have been. Should have been. No doubt about that. I mean, Abbott's hit the rookie wall, obviously. I mean, I'm not even going to speak of Luke Weaver. Brandon Williamson's hit, he hasn't pitched, he had turned the corner there. But again, he's a rookie, so he's going to have a lot of downs, and he's a rookie who's not, he's not like a stud rookie either. I mean, we're hoping that he's going to be a little bit better than what people are thinking, and he did show some of that. But he hasn't the last couple outings. And again, I'm not going to rail on this because I already did last week. I mean, again, we did nothing at the trade deadline. So we get what we get. We get what we deserve in a sense. This is just more evidence to say we needed to do something.
Yeah.
The 15th ranked prospect right now at single A isn't doing anything to help the Reds pitching staff right now. So, and then Alex Young, something happened to him today. So again, we're back to potentially one left-hander, a guy that they can't even pronounce his last name. No one knows how to even say his last name. They were debating that on the radio the other day. Like, we don't even know how to say the guy's last name. That's, that tells you something. So, I mean, that's our entire trade acquisition. So we deserve what we're getting right now. We didn't do anything. We didn't. The front office kind of threw their hands in the air and said we're just going to move along with what we got, and whatever happens, and this is what's happening. And we've hit that 110, 20 game mark where teams that are the legitimate teams turn it on, kind of thing, and the teams that are not are kind of struggling. It's not like it's just the Reds.
Right.
I mean, the Marlins and the D-backs, who were both surprises just like the Reds, are struggling as well right now because I think they're all in the same position. And D-backs pitching and the Marlins pitching is way better than the Reds. So, I think the trade deadline was as symbolic as what's happening on the field. I think it's just, hey, this is a, and even a lot of the Reds fan base is just like, hey, we're happy with whatever happens this year. It's a, this is a throwaway year anyway. Who really cares? We're happy if we don't even make the playoffs, but we showed improvement. Okay, well, there you go. You got what you wanted. Because I'm pretty confident to say, and again, this is my one pessimistic remark, is the Reds ain't making no playoffs this year. So they're just not. So it's, we're back to just using this year as the year to, for these guys to get as much experience as they possible. And that's why we need to get Marte up here. I'm back to that. Like, we need to get Marte up here. We need to get, I don't know why Leon Richardson pitched today and not Connor Phillips. I didn't understand that move. They keep saying Connor Phillips isn't ready. Well, he's had way more starts in AAA than Richardson has. So I don't get that. The Reds talk out. This is my issue with the Reds. A lot of times they talk out of their mouth a lot. Like, they're not ready. So we don't bring up Ellie like when they should have a month before they did. And that happened multiple times with these young guys. McLean a month later than they should have, CES and stuff, because they're not ready. But then we bring up Richardson. Obviously, he wasn't ready. I mean, he was.
He's going down. I think it's just one of those things where with Richardson.
But why instead of Connor Phillips? That doesn't make sense to me.
I think because Connor is not. I don't think he's on the 40-man.
Richardson was on the 40-man.
Richardson was on the 40-man.
Yeah.
So you have to make,
because is he older than Phillips or something?
Yeah, he was going to be a Rule 5 guy if they didn't put him on. So they put him on the 40-man.
So put him on, and he's got. I mean, yes.
No, he's in the future. I'm fine with it, but he's still not. I mean, but I'm saying it's symbolic of we're punting on this season,
right?
Now.
Well, in the Reds,
just because he's not on the 40-man, we can't make some moves and get. I mean, come on, there's got to be a guy in the 40-man that we could send. See you later. The guy who's pitching in two games from now should be kicked off the 40-man. So again, it's just symbolic of the front office and Bell and all these people are just punting on the season. So there's no reason I'm not going to get all worked up about it anymore, because it's just this is what it is. It's 2024.
Well, the silver lining, there's two. I mean, silver linings. One silver lining. If the Reds continue, this downward trend,
we'll get a better draft pick. If silver linings. We can hoard another prospect. I mean, we love our prospects for this.
We can get better seats at the stadium, we can slide down and
the sellouts will stop happening.
Yes,
I wasn't a sellout today. That place was empty today.
So it'll be the Geta Fest was going on, so they're not Cincinnati and their Geta. They're not going to give up Geta on a Sunday afternoon last day. Heck no. Here's my thing too. It's like, okay, why does Washington bring up a Dawn or whatever his name was yesterday? He hasn't pitched in the big leagues for over a year and a half, and he throws almost a perfect game against us. And then we bring up Lyon, the train, Richardson, and first two pitches of his major league career. See you later, Tater. And
Yeah.
But he pitched great after that.
Yeah.
He settled down. I mean, granted, gave up 4 runs, but
and I don't have a problem. I don't want to say I don't actually have a problem with them bringing him up. I mean, get him some starts now. Get him in here and get him some starts and get him some experience, and he can be thrown in the mix for next year. Kind of thing. That's why, Phillips should be up, and whatever. I mean, whatever. I mean, we're things should be pointed to 2024 at this point.
Right, and
they already are. I mean, they already are from the Reds standpoint.
So. And that's my question that I have for you guys here. Is like, construct your lineup for the rest of the season, and and this is where. We've talked on this podcast before where it's like, hey, if you have an opportunity, a window of an opportunity, you go for it, right? And that's why I think we're all a little disheartened that
because we know how
difficult it is. Well, we just know how difficult
it
is to win because, the Brewers are always going to do something to make their ball club better. They're always now. They may
everybody in the NL Central is going to for next year,
except for the Pirates. But,
probably
because Pittsburgh is Pittsburgh. But
the Cardinals are
going to do
whatever they
do something.
They might. They're going to find some ways to cheat for next year.
Yeah.
This is not acceptable in St. Louis,
right? So
I'm sure they're ready to kill someone there.
And it's like, so you're going to have the Cardinals probably back in it. You'll have the Brewers are always going to be sniffing around first place, and the Cubs. Depending on what happens in the offseason, because they have a lot of contracts that they'll either have to re-up or they're going to go free. Bellinger's up, Stroman's up. Let's see. A couple other players are up. And, it's like, so, if that's why they were, like, do we go in? Do we go and be buyers or sellers? And then they got on that hot streak and they're like, hey, and they looked up and they said, oh.
And they did more than the Reds.
Yeah, it's just the Reds and the Brewers in front of us. Oh, hey, we've got Cincinnati coming to town. Let's try something. And they did. And boy, I mean, I don't know. But so, my point is, if we are looking at 2024, if we're like saying, we need to get these young kids ready for 2024 so that they have an understanding of what it takes. Why in the world is Joey Votto playing every day? Why in the world is Nick Senzel in the dang lineup? Why in the world is, Newman? And Sam and I were talking before the show began, is like, once India gets back, he needs to be your leadoff hitter, second baseman, move Ellie back to 4, playing him at third, McLean at short, CES at first, and roll with it. And let's just go. Let's go. But construct your lineup for the rest of the year, guys. Who you playing? What you doing? Who you calling up? If you're calling up anybody or not. I mean,
other than pitching, I don't know that I still want to have a little hope that they're going to get this thing turned around, but I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe you give them August, come September, if they're 500 and pretty clearly out of it, then you bring up Marte at a minimum and get him a couple at bats in September. But yeah, once India gets back, he's second baseman or DH or whatever, but he's leading off. He should have never been moved out of the 1 spot. That's where he hits best in the lineup, and he's the Reds' best leadoff hitter that they have. Friedel struggled when he got moved to the leadoff. Ellie has sucked as a leadoff hitter. I mean, absolutely sucked. So I don't care if India's only hitting 250. He still has a 350 on base percentage. He's going to get on base. He's not a big RBI guy anyways. You don't want him hitting 3rd or 5th. Put him first. Let him get on base. And then probably Friedel 2nd, McLean 3rd, Ellie 4th, Fraley 5th, CS 6th, and then whatever you want, 7, 8, 9. I don't really care.
Steer's got to be in there somewhere, I think.
Yeah. Steer, DH. Steer probably 6th then, and then CS 7th. I mean, or rotate guys through. Just rotate Steer through like they were before India got hurt. That seemed to be doing all right. And just kind of whoever he's in the lineup for, that's where he's going to hit. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, I don't need to see Senzel anymore. I don't need to see Kevin Newman anymore. And I don't need to see Nick Senzel against a righty hit in front of Benson. That I don't know what he was doing there today. Senzel was hitting 7th. Benson was hitting 8th. I don't know. That didn't make sense to me.
And that might be my change up is I move Benson way up in the order to give him a shot. Have him bat second.
Yeah.
If you're going to bat,
you could try him at leadoff if you really want to.
Yeah. I mean, he is good at taking pitches. I mean, he has some markings of a leadoff hitter from him. He's got a good eye, takes pitches, doesn't mind walking. So, I think maybe flip flop him and Friedel. Friedel goes down to the 8 or 9 hole.
I'm fine with that
kind of thing. Votto, I don't want him just to disappear. Like, I don't want him to play every day, but I think he has earned, especially, the Reds are continuing the sinking ship.
He's my comeback player of the year.
The sinking ship happens, probably the more he should play because, who cares really? Let him get some kind of ride things out, whatever. But yeah, he's the tough one because I want him to play. I'd love for them to be good. The Reds have done him such a disservice for the last decade that, not giving him anybody around him, and he's been a pretty good soldier. Never really complained about it, and he could have complained a lot. He could have gone Carson Palmer all over their ass many times. So that's a tough one for me. Just bailing on him from a long next year standpoint, right? Yeah, he shouldn't get that much playing time, but yeah, I mean the CES, the LEs, Indy's a tough one too for me because I don't know if he's going to be here next year. For me, he'd be first one on the trading block for me for next year. You take him, you take Senzel, who maybe has a little bit of value. Barrero, I think, still has some value. I watched him in person last night. He had home run and a double.
Of course he did.
And he's batting like 285 or something.
He's
now
killing AAA pitching.
So
killing AAA pitching.
If he has trade, you package him in India and maybe some 15th ranked prospect who, if they're worried about, I'll drive him to the airport if that'll save him a couple bucks on gas or something, whatever. But get some starting pitching in here, kind of thing. The Reds operate on this thing of hope. And hope is not a strategy.
Hope is eternal, though.
It's hope that Green's all of a sudden going to show up and be awesome. Right now he's throwing 40 pitches in a game. Even though I'd cut Weaver and have Green starting last.
I was going to say, would you rather have his 40 pitches or Lionel Richardson's 40 pitches today?
Well, definitely Weaver's 40 pitches because it'll be 5. It'll be just like Richardson. It'll be 5-0 after 40 pitches from Weaver, Dream Weaver. I don't know. So Indy's a tough one for me too because he, to me, still has some value, but I don't think he has the value. I don't think he's long term here. I think he's the guy you could package to get some, and I'm okay with that. Like he's terrible defensively. His numbers have gotten worse as the years gone on. So that's he's again just. The rah-rah stuff. And next year, the rah-rah stuff is over. Like, they're all big league ball players. They don't need some guy, pulling swords out of stones and stuff to make them a better, better on the field and stuff. They still need that, and we're done. The rest of something.
Well, everybody.
So I don't see Freddie Freeman and Acuna pulling swords out of stones, and that's why.
But they do have something over there. They do have something. I can't remember what
talent.
They have. Well, yes, but they do something over there for their home run celebrations. I mean, that's just the thing, right? It's like
they all do that.
Every team does that, So I mean, Shohei Ohtani does that. I mean, they put on the big Japanese.
Well, but we can do that without India. We don't need him to be there to do that.
Right, but I'm just saying it's.
I don't know. I was saying they sucked once he went on the DL. The energy's just gone
down.
I mean, if an off season can fix that, fine. If you want to bet on that, like that's fine. But I mean, I don't know because David Bell's still your manager, so I don't know. I think you kind of need that the player to kind of bring the energy in spite of that. So,
a couple of things that I see hopefully moving forward. Obviously. I don't, Ellie cannot be, he's not a leadoff hitter. So, I mean, I know they want to get him as many pitches as possible. That's why they put him in there. So that way,
Well, I think he's getting more fastballs because he's batting leadoff. That's
right.
not,
but it's
not working.
It's not
it's not working.
Yeah. And then when he is getting fastballs, he's taking it right down the middle of the plate because he's
right.
That was Bell's big thing. He came out yesterday with some statement about that. He actually did talk about it, and that was his thing. That he's gets more fastballs.
Yes, you should lead off, but that's only in the first inning, right? Your starting pitcher wants to establish his fastball. So what's he do? He's going to throw the fastball early and often.
Yeah, but he doesn't throw it for a strike because he knows Ellie's swinging at it.
Right, but like today, Ellie's first at bat, right? It was a two-seamer that came back right into the middle of the plate, and he like jumped out of the way like he was playing Little League baseball and somebody's throwing a curveball at him. He jumped out of the way and it was right down the middle of the plate and called strike 3. And he looked in the dugout like, oh,
there was a lot of that today. Taking pitches right down the middle, swinging at ball 4 and taking strike 3 right down the middle.
Well, I will tell you this.
I think the youth of the Reds
we're gonna,
this is where we're showing it right now.
Yeah, and we're going to have to live with that, right? Because that's what, and that's the catch-22. It's like we want all these young players up. CES is ready. He's smashing AAA. Well, he swings at a slider 85% of the time, and it's 6 feet outside. He's like Ellie. He's going to figure it out. I got faith that he's too good of an athlete, too good of a player. Both of them are, that they're going to figure it out. It's going to, it's going to make some adjustments. But the problem is, they've got the adjustment period is starting to go a little longer. Like with Ellie, the first week against the Dodgers and stuff, he was just smoking the ball until Kershaw pitched, right? And then Kershaw was throwing the curveballs, sliders, and Ellie was swinging and missing. And then people started to do that. And then, he had a 3 or 4 game slump. And then Bell sat him. He came back and had, his
that 7-game hit
stuff.
streak. And
and now he's going through an extended period of time again. But it seems like it's going longer and longer before he breaks out of that. And CES today, he struck out 3 times and just swinging at pitches that, sliders are hard. But you're a big leaguer. You've got to know that you got to be able to pick up that slider. And if it's middle to out, it's going to break outside of the box. Don't be swinging at it. I don't know. But so that's the catch-22. We've got to allow these kids to grow and take their lumps. And we can't be mad at them for doing that, right? Because they've all showed great promise, and we've got the hope there, that Crawley wants. And just, we're hoping that they can stay 300 hitters and hit for average, hit for power. Eventually they will, but, they're going, it's why they're up, right? And that's why they need to, see some things. And Connor Phillips, love to have him up, but his walk ratio in AAA right now is high. He's walked 29 batters in his 31 innings.
Did you see Weaver's last start?
Yeah, Weaver actually didn't pitch.
No, he walked 5 straight guys, and that was
that was after. Yeah, but
Connor Phillips can do that. I can do that.
Yeah, well, but Phillips got to get used to the ball, right? Because it's a new.
My God! He's also got a sub-2 ERA right now in AAA.
Right.
So
I would think after the first 5 or 6 pitches, I think you could get used to that ball.
Yeah, I think he's figured it out.
Yeah, I think he's figured it out, especially after his 4th start. Yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. So, yes, I would love to. So yesterday, I was coming back from my mom's, and Chris and I were in the car, and we were listening to the Reds. There was a terrible accident on 74. It was shut down when we were actually going to my mom's, and then 2 hours later, it was still shut down. Pray for the victims and their families, but it didn't look good. It was a motorcycle that was pretty much just disintegrated. So, if you're out there, our thoughts and prayers are with your family there. But So I'm sitting there and they were talking the radio, the Cowboy, and they were just saying, what's going on with the Reds? Why aren't they, on this, what are they doing differently, right? Since the All-Star break. And I looked at my wife, and this was before Cowboy even said it. I said, it's all Joey Votto's fault. He came in and started hitting home runs, and everybody wants to hit home runs with him. And the Cowboy, word for word, pretty much, didn't blame Votto. He just said, this team has to get back to hitting gap to gap, getting on base, and causing havoc and running their asses off on the bases. That's what got us the 12-game victory streak. And all of a sudden, we're starting to we're swinging for the fences more. And he pointed that out. And then
he's 100% right.
The statistics actually, I can't remember who it was, but it was today. They posted, I think it might have been Joe Lupcart. He posted like pre-All-Star and then post-All-Star. And the batting average is way down. The strikeout rate is up. The percentage of runs that they've scored on home runs is over 54% since the All-Star break. It was like under 35% before the All-Star break. So the Reds were manufacturing runs, right? And it was that youth, energy, excitement, gap to gap, blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden, after the All-Star break, here we go. And what coincided with that, right? A couple of things. Votto's back. They moved India out of the leadoff hole. And they moved him, and they dropped him from third to fifth, and so, yeah.
And your speedsters aren't getting on base. Friedel wasn't.
They're not stealing. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, Elliott doesn't have a steal since July 17th, they said.
Right.
3 weeks, and he doesn't have a steal.
Can't get on base. And they're not.
He had a
aggressive.
He had a single today. Why didn't he steal today?
No, they're not aggressive anymore. They're waiting for that 3-run homer. Earl Weaver, Baltimore Orioles baseball, and that was the other thing. Is like the Reds stole 1.2 bases a game leading up to the All-Star break, and now they're like 0.6 a game. So it's the runs are down because they were. The runs, they were like 6.5. Now they're like 5.5. So it's not horrible, but that extra run is an extra run.
Whose fault is it that they're not stealing bases? Like, did that?
Well, I
think
think
it just kind of a circumstance because they're not getting on base as much.
They're not getting on base enough.
Yeah, they're not getting on base, and when they do, they're so far down. Right? It's like the other day they were down 3 runs, and Ellie got on first base and he didn't steal, and I'm like, send him. No, it wasn't Ellie. It was Friedel, I think, was on base, and I'm like, send him. I don't care, hit and run them. Do something. And what happens? The next guy up hits into a double play. And it's like, you've got one of the lowest metrics rated defensive catchers in the league, in the Washington Nationals catcher, and they did not run on him at all.
Like worse than Tyler Stevenson.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad he is.
Yeah. He's like 20.
He's terrible.
He's like 28th or 29th in the league.
Nationals ran all over Stevenson.
They ran all over us.
Goodness.
Yeah. And, so when we did run, right, what happened? Friedel steals second, steals third. And McLean strikes out and CES strikes out. So, and that was Saturday.
That was Friday.
Friday night.
Friday.
Yeah. Friday night. So it's, I don't know, but I think we just got to be more aggressive on the base paths, get back to that first and third aggressiveness that we had, not hitting the home runs, start going gap to gap, those type of things, and see where it takes us. Let them realize that you're not going to, if you hit it good, it goes out, awesome, but you weren't relying on the home run ball to win a ball game. So,
nope, they weren't.
So yeah. All right. That's enough of the Reds here. As far as, I don't know if we have any top performers of the week because it's been a bad week. I don't know if we
I
would.
didn't have a hitter. I had a pitcher, but
Who was your pitcher? Ashcraft, or was it
Mole?
Maul?
Yeah, he hasn't given up a run in
Mole.
Yeah.
four innings, 8 strikeouts, or 7 strikeouts, I think. A couple hits, no walks, no runs.
Yeah,
it's about as good as
I put Ashcraft just
Ashcraft
because he had the one good, the only good start. So
yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't have a hitter. So
there wasn't.
Somebody might have had a good game, but nobody had a good week.
No,
so
not at all. I'll throw Luke Malley just for breaking up the perfect game on his birthday.
For a guy who had over a 5 ERA in the minors.
Yeah. And hasn't pitched in the majors in over a year. So, yeah. All right.
Well, Newman had 3 strikeouts on his birthday, and McLean had 3 strikeouts on his birthday. So
bench him on the birthday. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
All right. Let's move on here. Well, I think we all know who needs to be demoted. So
I have a different answer.
Oh, who do you have?
Kirk Casale. He has 3 at-bats in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
Well, he's on the IL right now.
He's on the IL right now, so yes.
Again, another fake injury.
Yes, right. As soon as he comes off,
a fake injury.
He needs to be gone because,
or just move him to the 60-day and don't even have him come off.
Yeah.
If you really like him, because I guess that's what they must like him. He must be a good dude.
They value his pitch calling and working with the pitchers.
In the bullpen or in the
bullpen?
Back with the relievers or something?
Well, just because of the, he can help the starters along. I don't know. Just because they're young.
They can hire Corky Miller and do that.
The young guys, they like to have their, I like throwing to this guy. He calls it
not in the game. He doesn't play in the games.
Yeah. No, he doesn't, but he needs to. I mean, Tyler Stevenson needs to start hitting. And he needs to do a better job at catching, just in general. He just
I figure I'd change it up from Weaver. I mean, Weaver's a constant. He needs to be. And he's already pitching on Tuesday.
Yep, so he's pitching on Tuesday because who else you going to go to? All right, we're going to slide on out of the Reds here and move to our trivia question. And Sam, you had the trivia question last week, and we answered it.
Yep.
We got it correctly. So just give the question real quick. So that way, if those people out there listening and watching, if they want to play along, they can play along and DM us at Cincy Sports Scene on Twitter or on YouTube or at Instagram or Facebook at Cincy Sports Scene. You can chime in.
Yep. Can't remember exactly what the question was.
It was 19.
Yeah. So there are there's 9 Power 5 schools who do not have the city or state that they, that the campus is in their school name. So who were the 9 teams, and we got them all. So I didn't write them down, but yeah, it was 2 from the ACC, 2 from the Big 12, 3 from the Big 10, Pac-12 school, and an SEC school. So it was Wake Forest and Duke. Big 12 was Baylor and BYU. Big 10 was Northwestern, Purdue, and Rutgers. Pac-12 was Stanford, and the SEC was Vanderbilt.
There we go. All right, so it's Crawl Dog's turn for the trivia.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Okay. We're going to do a little college football question here. As we start camps cranking up here. So the question is which college, make sure I got it. Okay, so which college, in college football, has 2 major national championships, 7 Big 10 championships, 1 Heisman winner, but is not a Division I school?
Oh, this was on Twitter, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if you saw it, you can't give it. So,
I think. I saw it. I saw the jersey, but I didn't read it. yeah, but yes. So I won't chime in.
So it's a college football. It's Big Ten, but not D1. So
They're not D1 right now.
Oh, so they were at
But
one
they
point.
have 7 Big Ten championships, Heisman winner, and they won 2 national championships.
Yeah, so you got to think, how long has Big Ten been around? Long time. So
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know.
They've won a Big Ten conference title more recently than Vanderbilt or Iowa State has won their conference title.
All right, that doesn't really.
And when
help
did
me
that
any.
happen?
Because
Right. That just tells you how bad that
1920
is.
something, right? Something
Yeah,
like
you're
that, so.
telling me Vanderbilt won the SEC? Oh wow, so it's not a current D1 school. I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know like any non-D1 schools.
Matter of fact, this is a D3 school.
D3.
Yeah.
They have a high.
Yeah.
D3. Also Big Ten. What's the school in Indiana there? That sounds like DePaul. That's not DePaul.
DePaul.
The other DePaul.
The other DePaul.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, it's DePaul, but with a
W.
Yes.
It's not them though. But
I've got
I don't know if they have a football team or not.
I couldn't tell you.
DePaul does, yes.
DePaul does.
Mhm.
The W DePaul does because
Yes.
the L DePaul does not.
The L does not. Yeah.
Yes, they do.
But I'll give you a hint, Sam. DePaul with an L is the hint. It's not them. That's not the answer.
DePaul
But that's
with
your
an L is the hint. So they're either in Illinois or in Chicago. Would be what I take away from that. And I don't know any D3 schools in Chicago or Illinois. So I don't know. It's got no clue.
Okay, I'll let you think about it.
Yep. Think about it for next week. So those of you out there listening or watching, you can chime in at Cincy Sports Scene on Instagram or YouTube or our Facebook feed. Chime in if you know the answer, or at Twitter on Cincy Sports Scene as well. So we're going to get into our topic of the week. Last week was a fun topic. We played Rank 'em, and Sam gave us a game where we had to rank our top 5, but we didn't know. He gave them one at a time. It was pretty fun. So Crawley has something different for us this week. So we'll turn it over to him.
Okay, so I got a little. We got kind of 2 things we're gonna do here, and you guys probably want to have a piece of paper to write some things down. So I think we'll do it as a little competition here.
Oh,
because it's kind of trivia. The first part's the trivia part. So, and then we'll do we're gonna do some would you rather questions. So,
getting ready for school. Would you rather?
That's right. That's right.
Would you rather go to school or stay at home?
Okay, so
go to school.
So the trivia is in honor of. I mean, we got to talk about college football a little bit with all the craziness going on.
Oh yeah, realignment.
So, yeah. So in honor of that, we're going to do a little, and in honor of UC, join the Big 12. We're going to do a little Big 12 or Know Your Big 12. That's the game.
Oh, Know Your Big 12.
Know Your Big 12, and we're going to use the Big 12 as of 2023 in terms of a lot of the questions. So the current,
so no Colorado, no Arizona.
Yeah, for most of the questions, yes.
Yeah, so, gotcha.
Okay, so here you go.
Big 8. Yeah.
So here you go.
Swack.
So your first question is who knows their Big 12 is name, and write these down. What's the 3 oldest schools in the Big 12, like in terms of when the college was founded?
When the college was founded, not when they were in the Big 12. Not who's been in the Big 12.
Nope. When the college was founded, top 3. So you'll get, I don't care if you have them in order or whatever. Just what do you think of the 3 oldest schools started as a college in the Big 12? Remember, 2023 version. Don't put Arizona down.
I've got my 3 guesses because that's what these are.
Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
This actually surprised me a little bit. I was wrong when I thought. Okay, you got your answers now?
I've got my 3. Yeah.
Okay, can't change them. So
All
they're locked in.
They're locked in.
All right.
Okay, so here's your 3 oldest, and these are I'm going to give them to you in order, but you don't have to. If you get them, you can give yourself a point. So
All right.
they are in order. UC is the oldest.
Oh, I had UC 1. Let's go.
Yep. Baylor is second,
Did not have Baylor.
and Kansas State is third.
Oh,
I
I
have
had
Kansas
Kansas. I had Kansas.
Kansas, I think, was fourth.
I had Kansas,
I
Texas.
figured
and-
West Virginia because I figured more east, kind of thing. But
Oh,
I think it was
I
West
wasn't
Virginia
thinking
really wasn't a
UC.
state,
That's
so.
yeah. I totally forgot
Yeah.
UC. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking. Never mind.
So UC, Baylor, Kansas State. How many did you guys get? Or how many each of you?
I
get?
got none.
I had
No.
UC.
Okay, so you got a point, Sam.
Yeah, 1 point. Awesome.
Okay.
Are you keeping track, or you want me to write that I have 1 point?
I can do it.
All right.
So
Yeah, I had UC, Texas, and BYU. I thought maybe the Mormons got in there.
I still have this list up. BYU was founded in 1875. UC was 1819,
Mm.
and then it dropped. Then Baylor was next at 1845. So, okay, next question. There are 3 private schools in the Big 12. Name the 3 private schools of the Big 12.
I got
Ready?
my
Mine.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got mine.
So here are your answers: Baylor, BYU, and TCU.
Got all
Yep.
3.
So did
You
I.
got it. Okay.
Is that an extra bonus point? Getting
For
all
both
3.
of you.
Yeah.
I should put on the clock who's the
Yeah.
fastest too. I
Yeah.
could have done that.
Ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding.
Yep. Okay. Next question. Name the 3 Big 12 schools with the largest student enrollment. And again, this is all according to Wikipedia. So if Wikipedia is wrong, then you can let me know later. But it was funny when I put a Wikipedia on this. It's already been updated with 4 new schools. And
Yeah,
like somebody jumped on there. But yeah, so name the schools with the 3 largest enrollment. Actually, why don't I do this? I'll give a bonus point on this if you name the one with the biggest enrollment. So put down who you think has the biggest enrollment, and then put 2 more schools down. Let's do it that way. And then if you get the biggest enrollment, you get a bonus point.
all right. I think I got 3. I mean, I got 3, but I don't know.
Yeah, I got my 3.
Okay.
So
Dave, who do you think has the biggest enrollment?
Texas.
that's
Okay,
what I said
Sam?
as well. I said Texas.
Okay, they have no
They're
bonus
number 2?
points. They're number 2.
So UC is number 1.
UC's third.
UCF is
UC's third. UCF is number 1.
I forgot
Yeah.
about UCF.
Yeah.
I was trying
UCF
to.
is 71,000.
Yeah.
Texas
Yeah.
is
Dang
51,000.
it! I forgot about. I've got
Yeah.
UC. I got Oklahoma, Texas, and UC.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot about.
So your
UCF.
top 3 are UCF, Texas, UC.
Yeah, I totally forgot they were in the Big 12. Oh, well.
So how many did you guys get though?
I got 2.
To each? Yeah, so we're still
Yeah.
tied then, 5-6 right now. Still tied with Sam's up by 1.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, this is just a 1 school answer. Name the most northern school, geographically, the most northern school of the Big 12 on the map. Without looking.
I got to pick one. All right, I got it.
Yeah, I got mine.
Okay, Sam, what do you got?
I put BYU.
Dave?
Iowa State.
Iowa State is the
Iowa
winner.
State,
Yeah, Iowa State. Yeah.
I had West Virginia popped in my head first. I put I was like, oh no, Iowa State's a little higher than West
Yeah.
Virginia. So
Yeah, because I always forget it sits up.
Yeah.
Up,
Yeah, it's
like
a little
with-
northern
yeah.
Iowa too.
Yeah.
So even.
Yep.
Okay, so we're tied now. Okay. This next one, 4 answers on this
Ooh.
next one.
Mercy.
Okay. Name the 4 former full members of the Big 12. So there were 4 schools who were full members who are no longer, or who left the Big 12.
So they've already
Name.
left.
They've left. Yeah, they're 2023. Remember, we're using 2023 as our Big 12 year. So 4 members of the Big 12 that are no longer with the Big 12 as of 2023.
I got mine.
Okay.
I'm almost there.
Should be playing that Jeopardy music.
Yeah, I know. I only got 3, but
Only 3?
yeah, I can't
Okay.
come up with the 4th. one.
Answers are locked.
Yep.
One of them's kind of a trick question. Not really, but it kind of is. Colorado.
Right. That's who I got. I got Colorado.
Okay. And then your other ones are Missouri,
I forgot.
Texas A&M,
Yeah.
A&M
and Nebraska.
and Nebraska.
Yep.
Yep. I got 3.
Got all 4.
Dang it,
Okay,
I couldn't
Sam
think of
goes-
Missouri.
Back to in the lead by 1.
Mm.
10-9.
Mm.
Okay. Last question. Last question for know your. I do have a tiebreaker question, but it has nothing to do with the Big 12. But I do have a good tiebreaker if need be. Okay, and this is going to be tough. But we'll see. Just you'll know it.
I like tough questions.
Okay, so there are 3 SEC schools, current SEC schools, who are affiliate members of the Big 12. I had no idea about this. There are 3 members of the SEC who are affiliate members of the Big 12, meaning that they have a sport played at their school.
But
I
they're
guess
Big
the
12.
SEC doesn't have that sport.
Right.
So they play as a member of the Big 12 for that sport. So name any of those, name the 3 schools that are affiliate members of the Big 12 in one sport. And I'll give you a bonus point if you can name the sport. So there's 3 of them. It's not all the same. I'll give you a hint. There's 2 of them play the same sport, and then the third one plays a different one. So there's 2 sports out there.
Okay.
3 schools, 2 sports. If you can name it, get a bonus point if you can match. If you can name the sport that goes with the school. I just thought this was kind of fun. I had no idea. I really wouldn't think too hard on this because you're just gonna luck into it. I mean,
Yeah.
I wrote down 3.
I got down 3, and I got to come up with a sport, but I don't.
Yeah,
have
you can.
the
I mean,
sport.
sure. Give you a bonus point. I mean, obviously it's not basketball, so
All right, I got it.
it's gonna be some more obscure sport. Okay, so
Yep.
I will give them to you. So out of the 3 schools, and I'll give you the sport. Alabama and Tennessee both have women's rowing programs that are in the Big 12, and Missouri has a wrestling team in the Big 12, which surprised me because the SEC doesn't have wrestling, which I don't know. I didn't investigate any further than that. So,
Well, I had Alabama and Missouri.
Okay, so you
And
named
I had
2 of the
LSU,
schools.
and I had LSU as well. So
Okay.
I had none of them. So
You had none of them? Uh-oh.
I had
means-
fencing. Well, that was my sport. Little fencing.
That puts Dave up by 1. So I'm going to read one. I'll give you one more question because this is a fun question.
All right.
It's nothing to do with the Big 12. It's just
Okay.
a fun sports question. And we'll make this worth 2 points. So if Sam gets it, he wins.
I want to see your phone. Put your phone up there so you're not on your phone, man.
right there.
All right.
Okay. So here you go. Here's your question. So take the top 5 all-time career home run hitters in the major leagues and add up their home run totals. What's their home run total? What is the home run total of the top 5 major league all-time home run hitters? Do you understand the question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So whoever's closest gets the 2 points.
Closest to the pin.
Yep.
Can I use my calculator or do I have to freehand this?
You got to freehand it.
Freehand. Stupid.
All right. You said
I
top
got my
4
number.
or top 5?
Top 5. Top 5.
Yeah. Yep. I got 5. All right.
Say our numbers first.
Yep. Say your
All right,
total first, son.
3,473.
Ooh. I had 3,546.
Okay, your total is 3,630.
Oh,
Yes.
Papa Wolf wins the game. So,
So Bonds, what, 768? Or is it
Bond 762.
Oh, I had him at 767. Then
Uh,
755 for Aaron.
yeah, Aaron.
714.
Yep.
And then I put 660.
Yeah, you're missing Pujols.
Oh,
703.
oh, that's right. I was
that's
missing
Pujols.
right. I forgot Pujols.
Yeah.
And then A-Rod is 696.
696. Yeah,
I didn't think A-Rod had that many.
I knew I thought A-Rod had 650. I totally forgot about Poole. And then 660 was
Mays,
Willie
yeah.
Mays. Yeah.
And then Griffey Jr. is
Griffey,
7th
so-
with 630.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's Bonds, Aaron, Ruth, Pujols, Rodriguez.
Mm.
So there you go.
Cheater. Pumpkin eater.
Well,
so.
Then not just A-Rod.
That's what I'm saying.
In that
Cheater.
list.
Cheater. Yeah. That's
So,
pretty good.
There you go. We'll
All right.
save the would you rather for my next time around because
All right.
we're pretty good into this. So good job, guys. You now know your Big 12 better than you knew 15 minutes ago. So
All right.
And did you know Alabama was a member of the Big 12? So
I did.
Roll Tide with
Roll Tide.
with their
That's right.
women's rowing
That's why
program.
they call it road tide, not roll, road tide. All right. Well, that's going to wrap us up for this evening. Next week's show, hopefully be a good one. Be week 3 of the training camp. We'll talk a little bit. Hopefully the Reds can rebound with the Marlins coming in. The Marlins just called up their number 1 pitching prospect again to face the Reds.
Oh, really?
Perez.
Yuri Perez?
Yeah, Yuri
Oh,
Perez
no.
is going to.
That's
Yeah,
not good.
yes.
When some dude, Andon or whatever his name was, does
Right.
what they did. I mean,
Well,
Yuri
I mean-
Perez is legit.
Well, Yuri Perez. That was his debut against the Reds, and he threw like a 2-hitter against them.
He's got like a sub 2 ERA or something.
Yeah, so they called him back up to
Of
face
course
the
they did.
Reds because they knew.
Makes sense.
Yep. So we'll talk them, and then the Reds go on a road trip. Can't remember where they go after they face the
I think
Marlins.
they head out west, don't they? They've
Yeah,
got like a
they do.
10-game road trip.
Yeah, they got a big road trip coming up. I think they go to. Let me see.
I know they've got the Angels, and I think they've got the A's. I don't know. Or the Diamondbacks. They might have the Diamondbacks in there too.
No. It's a short road trip. It's just to Pittsburgh. So yeah, we've got to get right here with Miami and Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland, comes home. Cleveland, Toronto will be back in the 15th through the 20th. And then we go on the big road trip.
Gotcha.
The Angels, Arizona, and San Fran. So, but yep. So next week, we'll have Reds updates. We'll hopefully get some more prognosis on Joe Burrow's calf, when he'll be back, those type of things. And
he will not be back by the time we meet again.
No, he won't be. He won't be. But hopefully, they can give us a little thing saying, yeah, he'll be. We'll get him ready.
First preseason game is on Friday, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yep. But I think, is it against the Packers? The only home one? Because aren't the Packers
It is
coming
the Packers.
in?
It is the Packers.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
the Packers.
I don't.
Yeah, because the Packers are coming. The Packers are coming in.
It's like they practice with them.
Yeah, they practice and then they'll play. So
yeah, probably get a fight like Darren Donald again. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, throwing helmets.
Who knows? By next week when we meet again, Xavier might be in the Pac-12 or something. So
they might. Nah, they won't go to the Pac-12. Not out of the Big East. The Big East.
No, I'm just saying though.
Yeah. Well, the Pac-12, the Mountain
West.
West.
But he's got to go into the Pac-12.
Right?
Pac-12, Mountain West, and it's going to be the Pac-West. So yeah, but yes, or they just fold up because who wants to play Stanford and Cal?
Washington State and Oregon State might want to play them.
You got to figure out something because you can't survive with just 4 members.
No, you cannot. So, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that next week as well. Just the realignment, since college football will be less than 2 weeks away.
UC starts their higher ground camp this week, upcoming week. So.
Yep. So that'll be good. We can talk a little bit about that. And then the topic of the week. I wanted to do this for a while, but we are going to create our best lineup from movie characters. So that is what we are going to do. We're going to see who has the best lineup from the movies. So, and it'll just be a roll of dice. Who goes first, who goes second, who goes third, those type of things. So, all right. So we'd like to say thanks again for tuning in and listening. And you can catch us on all the podcasting platforms. So until next week, I am Dave. That's Sam, Charlie. Have a wonderful week. Take care.
See you.
See you.